Cowan, and you are participating in VVCU's update from Felton this morning. VVCU is a group of Visitation Valley stakeholders who've come together to break down walls and to give VVCU and its Visitation Valley a voice, help them to be heard among those decision makers. And so we welcome Rosara Diaz today from Felton. And thank you very much for being here with us today. And we are in your hands.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It's a privilege to be here with you guys this morning. Just one moment. There we go. You guys able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So my name is Rosaura Diaz. I'm a senior director at Felton in our Children, Youth, and Family Division. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about our early care and education programs that we offer here in San Francisco. Felton is a regional nonprofit, and we provide multiple services for children and family, adults, and seniors throughout San Francisco. Today I'm just going to specifically talk about our early care and education program. So we currently have 4 child care centers open in San Francisco, 2 in the Mission, and 2 in the Bayview. We had 1 open in Visitation Valley. I believe Robert had a picture of it. We shut it down in 2001. So I'll talk a little bit about that in just a moment. I wanted to go over our service model briefly, that we kind of have an array of services that support children in their early age, from like developmental screening. Our classrooms have low ratio, small class sizes. We've been serving children in San Francisco since 1971. And in 2016, we had a growth with expanding to multiple sites in San Francisco. We have play-based curriculum that's individualized, and actually we're one of the only service providers that have early intervention and inclusion services for children with special needs across all of our sites. We have a 2-generational approach where we focus not only on the children's well-being, but for families as well, making sure that they're connected to resources and services that are available for families in San Francisco. We also have a strong clinical background providing mental health and wellness services for children and families. Again, our program goals are, centered around children and families, a play-based and emergent curriculum. Our children, are prepared for kindergarten through art, all types of hands-on activity. And part of that is making sure that they have a safe and conducive school environment to be able to allow them to, grow and thrive. So that's partly why we were tenants in that Delta building for many years. And we were able to actually purchase the building from the landlord. And with purchasing the building gave us the opportunity to be able to renovate the inside of the space to allow for us to make some modifications to upgrade the building for the children that we serve. So we shut down the school end of 2021. Yes, 2021. And we're in, due to COVID, construction and renovating buildings takes a little bit longer. So we're still renovating that. So I talked a little bit about our early interventions that we offer for infants. We do large groups, small groups, home visits, speech and language therapy on site, feeding therapy on site to support children. And we're serving them, across many different conditions. A lot of our children some of our children are medically fragile. So we have a nurse on site who is able to provide on-site care. So again, we have low ratio and small groups. We really believe in, you know, building strong bonds and relationships with children, and we modify our curriculum based on the children's needs. Our teachers are trained in the teaching pyramid, making sure that we're providing, again, these individualized, you know, supports based on their need. But these are some of the kind of like rules that we follow, that we're a friendly site, we provide healthy spaces for children, we're safe, and we're respectful. So that's kind of like our motto, that teachers, you know, support children. All right, so we believe in this continuity of care. So when our child is enrolled in our program, they can be as young as like 2 months old to 3 months old, and they stay with us until they're transition into kindergarten. So some of our children are in our care for like 3 to 4 years until they, you know, transition out of care. We have a dual language program, Spanish and English pathway. When the Delta site was open, we were offering Cantonese and Mandarin dual language pathway as well. This is our Spanish pathway. We have an intergenerational approach where we have a foster grandparents and tutors, mentors who come. Things have kind of changed due to COVID, but before COVID, we had this program where like retired senior citizens would come in and volunteer and support our classroom. This is one of our big vision is that we really believe that the children that we serve all will go to college, and we have this cradle to college vision. Every year we graduate like 50 to 65 students from our programs, and we host it at San Francisco State. It's a big event. We usually have around 500 people attend, and it's amazing. Besides the direct care and education for children, I mentioned that we have family support services, and I won't get too much into it because I know my time is limited, and you guys are really interested in hearing about our Delta and Hope SF site. So I'll talk a little bit of our expansion, which I talked about. We opened up our first site, our main campus here in the Mission, 1971, and we acquired STC and MLK, our two Bayview sites. So we're currently today serving 295 children enrolled in our program. We closed FLC, but it should be reopening this fall in 2024. That site will have 3 classrooms serving infants to preschool age children. We really believe in low class sizes, so some of the classes will have maybe 12 children up to 18, but overall we'll be serving our license. We have a capacity to serve 42 children. And then the other site that we have is going to be open in spring 2025, our Hope SF. That one will be a larger site with 4 classrooms serving 60 children, and that one is co-located in the Mercy Housing Development that is in construction. And then we have another site that will be opening in 2027 in the Haight and Ashbury Haight neighborhood. That one is scheduled to be open in spring 2027. We just opened one in the Mission in 2022, February. So we have 1 year under our belt, and we'll be, having our 2-year anniversary next year on that site. And that one is similar to the project that is happening in Hope SF, which is basically our childcare center is co-located in a new housing development in partnership with TNDC and Mission Economic Development Agency. and this is a picture here of our Delta site, which is in construction. So we're working right now with architect and a designer to re-envision the interior space, and they'll be doing some exterior work as well. I thought I would show you guys like a mock-up of our Hope SF project, what it will look like. We'll have our childcare center we'll have our classrooms like surrounding this courtyard and behind the reception area. And this is to be constructed. So this right here is a picture of our site that we opened on 1990 Folsom in February 2022. You know, this is kind of like the process stage right now that our Hope SF project is in, the drawings, and these are the actual classrooms of that site that was completed. We have 3 wonderful classrooms and are serving at full capacity. So, is there any questions that you guys may have for me today?
Yeah, I have a question. I live on Leland Avenue, just around the corner from Delta, and my one concern is traffic. I experienced in the past when it was opened, and at pickup time, Leland Avenue and Delta Avenue are very, very narrow streets. And in the same area, there's the cross-cultural family center and the Boys and Girls Club and the elementary schools. It just gets really congested. So I was wondering if you have done any impact studies or what your plans are to minimize traffic.
That's a great question.
And parents like waiting for their kids, to get out of school.
That's a really wonderful question to bring up, and definitely, across other sites that, all of our sites, most of them do not have a parking structure for families. Parking is really limited in San Francisco, but we do work with families to support them to understand the drop-off and pickup, and we have incorporated some, technology aspects to kind of like smooth the transition of drop-off and pickup. We have like a keypad for them to just, sign in their children fairly promptly. And regarding the parking and the traffic, it is very limited. I'd have to get back to you after I refer with our operations director, who is the one who oversees that aspect of the work. We have kind of like policies that we follow here at most of our other sites related to like drop off and pick up with parking. We have like dedicated like white zone for like we have folks who are out there monitoring that to support traffic flow to ensure that families are not like double parking in like folks' driveways, things like that can happen. But I will get back to you on that.
Yeah, thank you. I if I understand correctly, there's a new California law that limits parking now. You have to be 20 feet away from a crosswalk, if I'm correct. So that's just gonna worsen everything. And I just see a lot of double parking. And since both Delta and Leland are so narrow and there are all these other services right in that vicinity, that it's just going to exacerbate being able to drive, and also I guess it's a safety concerns for the children as well.
Yeah, that's something that we'll have to put some thought into as we're gearing up to reopen again. Send communication to families and make sure that is on our radar.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Rex.
I think I see Rex with his hand up.
Rosario, thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your presentation. I think I missed a couple items. Anyway, so how many what are your operating hours again? First,
8:30 to 4:30.
8:30 to 4:30, and how many children? And you're doing this for the entire year?
We have year-round programming.
Or is it? Are you? I'm sorry, year-round programming. Okay, so and then and how many children do you plan to have in that building?
42. When we open up a new facility, we to ensure a smooth operation, we usually kind of start. We stagger the enrollment, so we don't enroll at full capacity the first 6 months. So there will be probably around 24 to 30 children starting off those first 3 to 4 months, and we'll be at full enrollment usually by like 6 months of operation. So, but in total will be 42 children.
Now, okay, great. No, thank you. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you opening up over there, because this community does need more programming for preschoolers. So that way the parents don't have to take them across the city or across the border to San Mateo County to take their children. I do frequently travel in that area, to go around Little Viz. Usually the biggest problem that I encounter is making those turns. They're really tight. So yeah, I think that's appropriate for the new law that I think the gentleman, I think Chris had mentioned earlier. I think that's going to alleviate some of the potential dangers to pedestrian. I'm not a big supporter of that, because I know they do that. They've been doing that in Seattle for many years, and it creates a problem, especially for some tourists that get ticketed, not aware that you're not supposed to park there unless they put some signage. But I think it's a wonderful idea. I mean, there's already a school there, so there's naturally going to be traffic. Yeah, you're right. Boys and girls going to be there. This building has always been a community center, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also I just remembered that not all of our families drive. Like a majority of our former enrolled families are local from the community, like they walk to school. So I would say I'd have to actually go back and do some analysis on our old data from like formerly enrolled families. A lot of them are like within a mile radius of the school. So so I hope traffic wouldn't be too congested, and some of our families take public transportation as well. So I think it's a mix. We'll have to see with this new enrollment season to see. Actually, I'm gonna write that down, is to check who's driving and taking public transportation, just for us to kind of get a sense of that.
All right, we have I'm sorry, let you finish. Just about a minute, maybe in a few seconds. Russell has his hand up. He'll probably be the last one.
Super quick question. Just how many staff are there during the day?
That's a good question. I'd have to get back to you on the numbers, but it's gonna be around like 12 staff or less. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, around 9. Not all at the same time, depending on the ratios. Usually we have 2 to 3 teachers in a classroom, but at different times. Then we have our program supervisor, other clinicians that come in and drop in at different times. So it can be up to 12.
And how much is the cost?
A cost on what?
Are the services free, or is there?
Oh yeah, this is free subsidized childcare. So if a family is eligible for San Francisco subsidized childcare, it's free to them. So yeah, we've had free childcare in that building since we operated, and we hope to continue to provide this free service to the community.
Thank you so much, Rosara, for coming and being a part. Thank you for your presentation. It's great information, and I'm sure that several of us at least will be conveying that. Again, thank you, and hopefully you can follow up with Chris and get him the answers to the questions he was asking.
Yeah, if he puts his email in the chat, I'll take note of it, and when I get back, I can, especially as we get closer to opening up, we'll have some more information on the parking situation.
All right, I'll give Chris an opportunity to do that. To everybody else, thank you very much. Hope you have a great weekend.
All right, take care,
Thank
everyone.
you, Rosara.
First, bye-bye.
Of course, I can convey the information too. If you give it to me, Rosara, I'll get it to this group. And